Good evening. Welcome to SAFC Fan TV and another edition of the Sunday Bunch live. You were just lucky there. I thought you were going to see Jacob naked as he took his top off to put a Sunderland top on and came back in his black T-shirt, but never mind. Joining us tonight, obviously with myself, we got Terry and Jacob. Emma was supposed to be with us, but she's having trouble with her carburetor. Don't ask. Terry, how's your day been?
The usual typical Sunday, bit of driving, a bit of walking and just chilling out, relaxing. The only day of the week I can relax, really.
Well, there you go. Very busy man, as you are. Jacob, how's your day been down south?
I started up north, actually. Spent an extra night in Sheffield following Friday night's celebrations, catching up with old uni friends. Also watched the Mags get knocked out of the couple, so big up Danny Welbeck for that.
Yeah, have you seen the video? What's going about?
Yeah, brilliant, fantastic.
Right, okay. Lots to talk about tonight, and of course, you can be part of the show by joining us via the live chat if you wish to do so. Have your say. We'll try and include as many people as we can, and I'm not a woman, so I can't multitask. I'm trying to do lots of jobs at the same time here. Already on the chat, Peter Solkold is there. DJ says the watch, and Mickey Stewart, David Walker, and Nathaniel Newman is there as well, and just joined us, Stephen Thornton. Right, well, we'll get back into it then. Back to winning ways as we were Friday night. We've played Sheffield Wednesday away. Nice 2-1 win for Sunderland. First of all, we'll start with you, Terry. Were you surprised when you saw the team?
I'm very surprised. I mean, I didn't realise Isidore taking a knock in training. That's why I was dropped to the bench. I heard some strange rumours to do with Dennis Serkin why he was dropped to the bench, but I'm not sure if they're true. So them two were a bit of a surprise. But you know, we've been looking for sort of using the squad.
Sorry. There, can I stop you there? Strange rumours with Dennis Serkin. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, it's I mean, when I was doing my live stream, I had one or two characters coming on saying that allegedly something to do with drinking and driving. I don't know if that's true or not. So that might be total bollocks. I don't know. But I had 3 or 4 coming on my live stream saying they've heard rumours about them. Maybe he's having 1 or 2. I just really don't know. So that's why I was dropped to the bench. That could be just absolutely bollocks. I don't know.
Right, okay, but overall a shock. I mean, I think it was a shock to everybody when.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a massive Yelder fan, to be fair, but I thought he did all right. And obviously, Chris Rigg was, you know, he needs a bit of a break and to refresh his mind up a little bit. And Brown came on, and you know, Brown does a good job. So I thought, to be fair, apart from, I thought that the Chris Rigg one was one I kind of expected him to get a bit of a rest at some point, but I didn't expect the other two. So it was interesting, yeah.
It was a bit of a shocker. And just very quickly on the chat, everybody's saying hello, Man United out. Yeah, we know they're out on penalties. I've just seen that. Stephen Thornton says, hi all. Welbeck is a hero. Well, he will be now if he wasn't already. Nathaniel Newman, what do you think of Patterson? We'll get onto that as well. Jacob, when you saw the team, was it a shock to you?
Yeah, big shock. The biggest one obviously being Isidore dropped to the bench, and Mayenda being used as the main striker, but fair play to Mayenda. It was an excellent performance from him on the night. But listen, it could be down to a tactic from the manager. When you do get back on that pitch, you go out there and perform, considering the poor display against Hull the previous week. So with the point gap, he was sort of in a position to do that. Before kickoff, it was a very slim glimmer of hope that we were going to be back in the top 2 race. I think Sheffield had to drop points against QPR, they didn't. But yeah, Brown coming in as well. I'm happy for him being back in the side. I think he's a good player. His experience will come in handy in the final run-in of the season.
Right.
But Hjelde coming in as well. Yeah, I was a bit surprised.
Right, let me stop you there then. Let me stop you there, Jacob, because we'll get on to all that. I just wanted to know if you were surprised by the team when you saw it.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Good man. Right, I've lost my train of thought now. I was was going to say something. Right, okay. The performance itself, then. Which was you happy with the overall performance? Did it suit? Do you think we could have done more, or what, Terry?
To be fair, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't. Let's face it. It wasn't a pretty performance, but it did the job. And other than the odd sniff, we sort of kept Sheffield Wednesday quite quiet. I think, I mean, Patterson made the odd save, but I didn't think they really created too much up top. I mean, we didn't create an awful lot ourselves as well. So, but like I said, we did the job, which I was hoping we would do. Got back to winning ways, which we needed to do. But I didn't think it was a pretty performance, but it was more of a workman-like performance. It was more of a sort of an effort in that game on Friday than there was last Saturday. It showed a bit more passion in the team, I think, even though it was a bit disjointed because of the changes, of course. And sometimes it does upset the apple cart and upset the team and the how they play. So, but overall, I thought, yeah, job done.
Right, okay. Jacob, you was at Hillsborough on Friday. Was it a good atmosphere there? It looked a nice packed out, and it's always good going down to Sheffield Wednesday. Always take a load down. Good atmosphere down there.
Yeah, fantastic, brilliant to see, and it was just considering the really poor display against Hull to bounce back like that in front of a passionate away crowd. Yeah, the feeling was fantastic, brilliant. Hillsborough, one of those iconic old school grounds, not many left now. So yeah, really good away there for a Friday night as well.
I remember at a time being at Hillsborough when we didn't actually have all the top section, and we had half, and Sheffield Wednesday had the other half, and it was in the naughty days in the 80s. And at half time, for some reason, there was no segregation underneath. You went underneath, and it just went off like big time down there. But those days are long gone. Were you happy with the performance overall, though, Jacob? Do you think it was
like what Terry said? I mean, it took us a while to get going. I think the performance, the first 30 minutes, I thought we were lucky not to be one down actually, but it was a very workman type good performance, I'd say. Good, solid grafting performance all round from the boys. The likes of Brown being back in the midfield, I think, was just the perfect player to have in this side after the disappointing display last week. And it just felt like we needed a good. All the fans wanted to see was a good reaction from the players after the defeat against Hull, and we done well. It took us a while to just get our rhythm, but overall, yeah, I'm satisfied, particularly the second half as well, when we lined up Isidore with Mayenda in the striking role, which I think that's going to be our main threat now to the end of the season.
Right, okay. Thanks, Jacob. Back on the chat, James Richardson says, good evening, my favourite telly programme. Thank you very much, James, for that. And he also says, Trey Hume had a blinder again, been brilliant all season, which is more than I can say for his barber. Right, it's the young'uns. That's how they have it. I mean, the tash and all that malarkey. I mean, I had one of them in the 80s when we permed.
What was that hair?
What? I had hair. I had lots of hair. Oh, absolutely. David Walker says Brown was the biggest surprise for him. Peter Solkal says Mayenda start against Cardiff. We will get onto that. David Walker says he was there. Very good atmosphere. Like I say, it's always a good trip down to Hillsborough, and a great set of fans, I've got to say. Sheffield Wednesday as well. Whenever they come up here and we have them in the Wheat Chief, I feel like, they've got a good set of fans, like Sunderland, the passionate and all that. And so I do like the Sheffield Wednesday fans also. Look, we do try and get 100 likes if we can on a Sunday. So if you want to just hit that thumbs up for us, that'll be a massive help. Just do that. And of course, don't forget, if you're watching and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. And we'd be forever grateful. Let's go on to this first goal then. Mayenda took it well in real time. I must admit, I didn't really see it in real time. But when you run it back, the ball did hit him on the arm. Were we fortunate? Should that have been a handball? Terry?
Well, I mean, a lot of people come on saying that the rules are if your hand hits the ball, regardless what happens, it should be disallowed. But I thought it would have been unfortunate to be disallowed because he had his arms by his side. Yes.
Sorry, Terry. Is it not? Am I not right in assuming it's supposed to be hand to ball rather than ball to hand? I've read somewhere, I've heard somewhere that doesn't really matter. So look, if it hits the arm, it hits the arm. But I personally didn't see it in real time. I thought he took it down, controlled it well. It wasn't to the replay that I realised it hit his arm. But at the end of the day, whatever the rules are, whatever happens, you win some, you lose some. We've had plenty of decisions go against us this season, so we do a couple to go towards us. And I thought Mienda had a brilliant game. You know, people are a bit worried about him coming on, starting over Isidore. I think Mienda has the ability to do exactly what he did there on Friday. I think he's got a lot of skill, a lot of pace, and I think he's very raw, but he's a good striker there somewhere. Yeah, I don't know where you were. I don't know where you've heard that. Like Colin agrees with me. It's either ball to hand or hand to ball. Is that right, Colin? Good lad. It sort of doesn't make sense whoever said that to you because of the thing where they say about hand by your side or in an unnatural position, whether it's handball or not. But it's all different views on it. Jacob, what was your take on it? I mean, when you was there, the goal, it was at the other end to where you was at, yes. So did you see it or was it on afterwards when you heard it?
It took us a couple of seconds until we started celebrating, really, to be honest. But when we watched it back, I thought, yeah, we've gotten away with this one here. But at the same time, look at the diabolical one we had in the last few minutes against Hull the previous week. Like Reggie said in his interview, things like this, it particularly in this division, it evens itself out. So, yeah, we'll take that in a heartbeat, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw it, I still think, you know, if they go up by this rule of if your arm's in by your side or an unnatural position, his arm was by his side and it's hit, the ball has hit him on the arm. He's not moved his arm at all. It's hit him on the arm. So, I
totally agree with you, Phil. I think it should stand. I think it should stand regardless. I think that's the correct way for the rule. But I mean, it was a good ball in from Yelder, wasn't it? Was it Yelder?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Right, yeah. Was that it, Jacob? Is that what you wanted to say?
Well, the ball in from Hjelde was absolutely brilliant. It was a solid performance from him on Friday, but we did get away with one before that as well. I didn't see it back until half time. The corner came in. I think didn't it strike Hjelde's arm as he tried to?
He had his hand up there, didn't
he?
Yeah. Right. Okay. To be honest, I have jumped the gun on me things. I've gone to the Mienda goal, but I was gonna. Oh, I've gone all blurry. That. Oh, there you go. I was going to do that first, so we'll do that. We'll do that next. But yeah, for me, it hit his arm, and I didn't see an issue with it. But then the people have said they were saying on the commentary, if you it can hit you on the arm like that, but then if you gain an advantage from it, then it shouldn't work like that. I don't know. Anyway, quickly back to the chat. James Richardson says Jacob must have a good job away every day I've been on this season, and he's senior, so James Richardson senior. Every time you're away, he does very little, to be honest. James Jacob's job's just he's the CEO of the company, so he can take as many holidays as he wants. And as Jim,
I really wish.
So James, if you have seen him every time and you've not said hello, make sure you pop over and say hello to Jacob. I'm sure he'd love to meet you. Is that right, Jacob? Of course you would.
Absolutely. Come and have a pint.
Terry, you was one in there.
Yeah, I mean, just go back to last week. We had a blatant penalty that wasn't given for us. So, you know, you get those decisions that are blatant against you and some that are blatant towards you. So it kind of evens itself out, I think, over the season.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of that as well. Hello, the Bristolian Maccabees there. Dave Commons on. Dave the Rave's on. Hello, Dave. How you doing? Aye, and all that. So, Dave, I'll see you no doubt in the Wheat Sheaf on Saturday for the Cardiff game. So we'll see you in there. Nathaniel, what's your dog called? My dog is called Colin, and he is the boss of our house. So these VAR decisions do end up evening out throughout the season, which is basically what we are saying there. I did jump the gun there because before that goal, Elder is handball when he's jumped up, and like you say, his hand is up and out of the way. Were we very lucky to get away with that one? Jacob, do you want to go first on that? He's reading, so he won't have heard me.
Go on, Terry.
Oh, go on
like I've just said, last week we had a blatant penalty not given. This week, that was a penalty not given, so it evens itself out. To me, I thought it was a penalty. Yelder's hand was in an awkward position up here somewhere, and I think 9 times out of 10 it's given as a penalty. But fortunate for us, we got away with that one, but that's what we deserved from last week, to be honest.
Right, okay. Before I come to you on that, because we're asking about the Helder handball before that. Just very quickly, Stephen Clarke, he says that goal stood because it came off a defender last, so it's classed as an own goal. I'm not sure how that works, because it would have been handball before the goal went in. But whatever you say, if that's correct, then I stand corrected. Jacob, were we lucky that not to have been a penalty?
Yeah, I think so. It reminded me, Terry might remember as well, I think Leeds away last season when Luke O'Nien went up for a header in the box and it struck his arm absolutely spot on. But yeah, it goes back to what I said earlier. In this league, it evens itself out, and we'll probably get a stinking decision going against us at home to Cardiff next week for a handball as well. But yeah, look, considering the poor refereeing decisions we've had of late, I'll take. We were due some luck at least. So yeah, fortunate. If VAR was in the Championship, it would have probably disallowed Mienda's goal and given a penalty for that Hjelde handball. So yeah, let's just be fortunate it's not about in this division. And yeah, luck was on our side this time, so we'll take it.
All right, okay. There's a question that's coming here. Again, with that handball, though, what was lucky with, again, I mean, I watched it on the telly, and I mean, I know you don't see a lot in real time, but I didn't spot it in real time. But obviously, when it was run back, I do think we definitely did dodge a bullet there.
I think Hjelde was lucky because the referee had a play between him and when he jumped up, so sort of he didn't see his arm up in the air.
Yeah, because the commentator said, and the referee had a good clear view. Well, he didn't actually. I mean, the ref was looking at it, but there was a player in front of him, and that's why we got away with that. And like I said, we was lucky with that. We got 86 people on the stream at the moment. We are looking for 100 likes. If we can get that, just hit the thumbs up. It'll take you a second to do so. We've got 38 likes at the moment. Let's get that to 100. If we could, please. There's a question coming here from Colin Major. What do you think about the new rule that if the goalkeeper holds the ball for 8 seconds, then they'll give a corner to the other team? That's been apparently it's
been agreed. Yeah,
it's been agreed, and it's going to come in. It's going to come in next season. And then, of course, SJ says that rule already exists, doesn't it? In a fashion, it is one of those rules what just never, ever gets upheld. I believe it's 6 seconds, and it's a goalie can't hold the ball for longer than 6 seconds. Otherwise, it's I think it's a free kick or something what's supposed to be given, but it just doesn't happen. You watch goalies all the time hanging onto the ball. Jacob?
Well, it goes back to, I remember when, I think it was Paul Heckingbottom when he was in charge of Sheffield, when they were in the Premier League last season. He was, from a manager's perspective, if they're going to a side where they're going to set up defensively and, you know, try and play mind games, frustrate the opposition. If their goalkeeper's taking goal kicks, then it will take about around that time anyway for the opposition in terms of their side readjusting their position on the pitch for the goalkeeper to then wait to take the kick anyway. So that would be the defence of it. But sometimes other goalkeeper, I remember like Ben Foster back in the day, for example, he used to just take the absolute mickey. You know, he'd be on the floor for about 5 seconds and then wait a further 6 or 7 for him to take the kick anyway. So I think from a referee's point of view, they want to see more of a free-flowing game for crowd entertainment purposes. But at the same time, if you're a side that, it's not going to have much. Go, Philly.
At the end of the day, it's a rule. And if the rule's in there, and whether it's a good rule, a bad rule, or whatever, it's a rule. And you should uphold it if it's a rule there. Terry, you're one in.
Yeah, the chances are the referee's not going to have the opportunity to stand there and count 8 seconds every time he gets hold of the ball. So for me, it has to go to the VAR official up a height. I mean, I don't think he has much to do apart from look for the odd fouls and free kicks and offsides and this, that, and the other. So when the keeper gets the ball, he just looks at his watch and counts the 8 seconds. He just says, corner. That's it. A couple of seconds, corner, done. That's what should be. They need to put these rules in place, then makes the keepers or start getting on with the game of football.
In theory, Terry, that's exactly how it should be, you know. And a VAR, within seconds, a VAR man can say right corner.
Exactly.
It's how they decide what side corner they choose as well.
Well, but I mean,
that'll be down to the players. Yeah, who knows?
Well, I don't know. Right. Anyway, so that's a debate for another time. It's a rule. What's a new rule, which apparently is going to be coming in. Somebody's put Stephen Clarke on the chat here. Has put the Prem is a massive golfing class and money between Championship and Prem. Just look at the bottom 3. Well, it is, but and if we are fortunate enough to go up, then money's got to be spent, and you can't be silly going up and think that you're going to challenge for anything. I think you've got to. That first season, I think you need to go up and be happy to stay up. But I think that first season, which is shown many times, is a good season for a lot of them. A lot of teams coming up can have their best season in that first season and then fall off after that. Terry, you want in there?
Some teams just managed to scrape through that first season. Look at Nottingham Forest this season. Absolutely flying. So it's possible if you have owners who are willing to spend the money within the rules, then of course and they do it wisely. They can do it. Yes, they can do it.
Right. Okay. Ian Brown on the chat says apparently KLD will be in a discussion for a £35 million loan for the club if we don't get promoted. I don't know if anybody's heard anything about that.
Yeah. What's all that about? Like, what do you mean a £35 million loan? I don't understand what for.
Well, I don't know. Does that mean that he doesn't want to? He doesn't want to invest his own money, so he wants to try and, get a loan. I don't know against.
Or whether that could be we've got things to pay off as well for this loan coming in. It's strange into also the timing of it as well when the news getting this announced.
SJ says we could probably get that 35 million by selling Job, Neil and Watson. Well, who knows? And Anthony Patterson got a bit of stick from us last week. Well, I'm saying a bit of stick. We just discussed his performance, last few performances, which hadn't been very good. How do you think he did on Friday? Jacob, we'll go to you first on that.
In terms of the goal we conceded, it's like similar goals we've conceded this season where he's had opportunities to come out and claim the cross that's come in, but it just looked like he was a bit stubborn, to be honest, like for me, and he didn't want to fully commit himself to come out and claim that ball. It was an easy header for Patterson in the end. So, because Patterson, the Sheffield Wednesday lad who got the goal in the end, I think it was him. It goes back. It's for me, Patterson. I'm just on edge now. Watch it. It feels like even when we're trying to play the ball out from the back as well, you just feel he's got that mistake in him even before he kicks the ball. But yeah, he didn't really. Apart from that, for the rest of the night, he didn't have much to do. But yeah, he needs to. Fair play to the manager for sticking by him too. I think that will do his confidence the world of good. But in the back of their minds, will we be looking beyond Anthony Patterson, no matter what division we're in the summer? I would say it could be a possibility. Who knows?
Right. Okay. Patterson for you on Friday, Terry. Was he better? I mean, he didn't have massive amounts to do, did he?
He didn't have massive amounts to do. I think he made one good save, and I think, it is what it is. His performances in distribution hasn't been good. A couple of times I've seen him kick the ball out of play like he normally tends to do. That's sort of his weak part of his game. Should he have come across? I mean, it wasn't really his fault for the goal. It was sloppy defensive mistakes. Yeah, it was a backward pass throw in, and it was a mistake, I think, from, I don't know if it was Mepham or Yelder, I'm not quite sure, but they're the ones to blame for the goal, not so much Anthony Patterson. But he played, he played. It was the same as the rest of the team. It was a workmanlike performance. It was nothing flashy. It was better than he has done. Never made any major errors or anything. But yeah, it's one of those things, isn't he? I mean, it should do his confidence a world of good, hopefully.
Right, okay. SJ says, I'm surprised no one's been calling him Flapperson, which unfortunately I'm not saying that I'm proud, but it's what we did title last week's Sunday Bunch. Ipswich have recruited well for the championship. Championship Bilbao. I don't know what's meant by that. Listen,
referring to Ipswich's current squad, if they go back down, then they've got a solid squad to mount a promotion challenge next season. That's what I'm assuming anyway.
Okay,
and they should be financially better off because, I mean, they get 100 million for promotion, 100 million for relegation parachute payments. So that should put them in good stead, to be honest.
I mean, I do wonder when I look at Ipswich, how Jack Clarke feels about going there. I mean, I suppose as a player, the ultimate aim is to play in the Premiership, and he has now achieved that with Ipswich. But surely he can't be enjoying his season at Ipswich like he did last week. Hang on, Jacob, because Terry was trying to get him first. So Terry,
I'm sure his bank balance is enjoying it better than he was at Sunderland.
He's what?
I'm sure his bank balance is a bit better, but I bet his bank's enjoying it.
Well, yeah, there's that as well. Jacob,
priorities are, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. We've lost Jacob there on a right. Jacob, you back? You was one then?
I would say Clarke, fair play to him. There was a period he was starting on the bench for Ipswich a lot of late before the Christmas period, and he seems to have got back in the team of late. So I think he's got a key contribution to make if they're going to stand a chance of staying up this season. The last few times I've watched him, he's been better. I think his confidence is slowly coming back. I think he found the adjustment from Champ to Prem really tough at the beginning, but yeah, fair play. He's popped up with the odd assist of late as well. I think a typical Clarke goal. I saw him score a fantastic one for Ipswich against Cov in the cup, cutting in on the left and putting it in the bottom corner. So yeah, if he turns things around, fair play to. I mean, I don't know if there's a financial bonus if Ipswich stay up with Clarke making a good contribution. Whether there's a clause in the contract whether we get a bit of money for that as well. So yeah, who knows? But fair play to Clarke.
When you froze there, Jacob, Terry did mention about his bank balance as well, which I mean I'm saying about every player's ultimate aim is to play in the Premiership. But I suppose if somebody's tripling your wages when you're already on 15 grand a week or whatever, then that's hard to turn down. Terry.
I mean, I'll ask you two a question. I mean, were you both impressed with Regis Lebrie's sort of the way he set out his side. I mean, we played 4-2-3-1. We did go 4-4-2 slightly, but then Mienda came off straight away, so we ended up going back to 4-3-2-1 and tried to defend again. So there wasn't really any massive change in formation for me from any other games. So it looks like he's only got one sort of way of playing football now. A lot of teams don't ever play 4-4-2 or don't play much 4-4-2. Should we actually have two up front for some games for more time than we do, because we just seem to have it for like just an odd 5-10 minutes here and there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been screaming for I'd love to see two up front. I mean, I like the fact, I mean, when I saw the team on Friday, I mean, I was shocked with the Isidore thing and what have you, but then I saw, you know, Mundell on one side, Roberts on the other. I'm thinking two good, skillful wingers who can, you know, tricky and can get in there and bang crosses in and what have you. And even both of them are more than capable of cutting inside and getting a good shot away as well. So for me, when I saw it, I thought, yeah, you know, the attacking, I do feel we've got an attacking side. You know what I mean? I would love to see, you know, actually two proper strikers are like a 9 and a 10 up there. You know what I mean, Jacob?
I think in Lebrie's defence, I think playing against Sheffield Wednesday, I think if you get control of the midfield where Barry Bannon is on the pitch, I would say you're 90% going to get the free put, because he's the catalyst for that side. And I think we needed to have an experienced head in there like Brown alongside Neil and Job to stop him from doing his stuff. So I sort of back the decision Lebrie made to stick with that system in a way to contain it, because yeah, he couldn't get going on the night. You know, Brown at times had him in his back pocket. It was a really good, solid display from him to stop him just dictating the play. Chef Weds trying to get the ball to the forward line. So yeah, we done well in that department. I think it all really though depends on the opposition we come up against. I think it will change against Cardiff next week, considering they'll be similar to Hull and try and set up with two banks of four and stop us running into space down the channels, and most importantly, getting crosses into the box. I mean, Terry might disagree, but yeah, I'll leave it over to you.
Well, Terry.
I think that what I want to say was, you can see Mundell's lost his confidence and he's lost a bit of his sharpness, because he doesn't look the same player as he was before he got injured. So that's going to take time to get back up to the run of speed of gameplay and, you know, get confidence in his hamstrings again, because it's always going to be on your mind. Could you pull the hamstring if you try and go too fast or do that? And again, Brown's the same. Brown's just had a broken leg of whatever it was, and he's going to get stronger and more confident as the games go on. So you could see that on Friday's game, with it being more of a workman-like performance, not so much of the flashy skills of Mundell, where he scores the goals down touchline, gets the balls across. So hopefully that'll come in time. And again, we've got Watson to come back as well.
Just very quickly on the chat, back to the chat. Lee's on there. Lee, who we had on last week, of the Bilbao Black Cats. Hi, Lee, how you doing? He says, buenas noches, lads. And in my limited French, I'm sure that means good evening. And I know it's not French, I know. If we go up, then there's enough trust in the recruitment team to find the right players to make us competitive in the Premier League. The three teams up from last season haven't recruited well.
That's where I'm going wrong. I always thought buenas noches means that you're enjoying your crisps, lads.
Hey, no, that's buenas nachos.
Oh,
honestly.
Sorry, Jacob. Me and Terry will do the dad jokes. All right. You be the word dads. All right.
It has to be a better dad joke than that, mate.
No, actually, thought it meant crisps. I don't speak other languages.
Right. SJ says, how do we beat Coventry over two legs in the playoffs? It's going to happen. Well, we'll touch on that. Coventry are having a decent run, and as we know, the team on form what enters the playoffs are generally the team what has a good chance of going up. speaking of that, I mean, after that win on Friday night, as somebody said on the Sunday Bunch last week, if we won and Sheffield United lost on Monday, which they did, it cut it down to 5 points. And of course, I'm there thinking it's only 5 points, and I know they got the 3 yesterday. But you know, if it comes, there's still quite a few games left, and Sheffield United are the team like us where our goal difference is very similar, and it could come down to goal difference on, you know, between also Sheffield United on getting a top 2 place. Do we really need to start banging more goals? And we're winning. I can't remember the last time we won by more than sort of 1 goal, and we need to bang them in and build that up. Jacob?
Well, we've not, particularly at home, I don't think we've scored more than 2 since the first home game. I think it was Sheffield when that was the last time rather, we scored more than 2 in a game at the Stadium of Light. I mean, listen, I think we've just got to focus on solid performances and coming out with all 3 for confidence reasons in this final run-in. I think if we listen, because I still think that, you know, I wouldn't rule it out just yet. I still think Sheffield United will drop points at some point. But Burnley, I think, are in action on Tuesday. I think they've got Cardiff away, but Burnley could even catch Sheffield as well. And I fancy us, if Sheffield United blow it, which I think there's a slim chance, and Burnley get in there and apparently my birthday is way off. If Burnley get in there and Sheffield, I don't know. I mean, you might disagree. I just fancy us more. I think Burnley would be more tactically set up to win the playoffs, but in a one-off game, because it's likely we'll play Sheffield in the final if we get there. I just fancy us more, to be honest. The 2 games that we played against them this season, I thought we were the better team in both, even at their gaff when they beat us 1-0. So that's my theory on it. I mean, it could all change. There's still, was it 11 league games left? Anything could happen there.
About 11 and something. And Burnley are away at Cardiff City on Tuesday night. Terry, do we need to bang some more in just in case? No, just.
I think sometimes you've got to take a little bit of a step back and start thinking with your brain rather than your heart. We've got no chance of top 2. Simple as. It's gone. It's gone now. You know, you can say, okay, there's enough points. There's no way Burnley and Sheffield United are going to blow their position and we're going to win all of our games. It's not going to happen. I don't think we're playing very good football at the moment. Our home form isn't particularly good. We need to get into the playoffs and get some form going into the playoffs, and then try and do it that way, because we're not going to make top 2. I mean, we'll win a game of football, Sheffield will win or Burnley will win. They both won't lose games of football. Simple as.
Terry,
so you need sometimes you need to be a realist and just right. Let's just get to the playoffs. Let's get some form into the playoffs, sort our shit out, and let's do it that way.
No, Terry, I don't like you talking like this. And Terry, you're normally quite positive. I mean,
I'm a realist. I'm a realist. I know when. I know when it's gone. I know when. Right, it's gone.
But Terry, I mean, what we got left? We got 5. We've got 11 games left, right?
Burnley don't let goals in.
It's 7. Listen, it's 7 points.
Conceded 3 on Saturday.
That's the FA Cup. Be the start. Forget about the FA Cup. We're talking about the league. Burnley don't let goals in the league. Sheffield United have invested in Brendan Diaz and Parrott, so they've what do you call them?
Terry, I'm happy to.
We're struggling at the moment with players. We're struggling for form. I think we need to find some form last few games of the season and then push for the playoffs then.
Right, okay. I'm happy to say Leeds are up. I'm happy to do that. Sheffield Wednesday.
Leeds didn't play very well at all on Saturday.
No, they didn't. But it's
West Brom with a better side.
Listen, it's 7 points, and I think Sheffield United are the ones we need to aim for now. And if they have
Phil, 8 points we're behind.
Is it 8 points?
It is 8 points.
All right, it's 8 points. But the thing is, right? It's like us. I mean, we've done all right all season. Then we had 2 back-to-back defeats. If that happens to Sheffield United, all of a sudden,
and Burnley.
Well, Burnley are only what 3 points ahead at the moment, aren't they?
With a game in hand.
No game in hand. No points in the bag, Terry. Points in the bag. Forget all this.
Right, let's get this conversation back on at the end of the season so I can have a good laugh at you too.
Well, you know what I mean. The thing is, you can't give up with there's 33 points up for grabs.
Nobody's saying give up. Nobody's saying give up being a realist.
No.
Then both teams are not going to lose 3 games on the belt, and we're not going to win 3 games on the belt. It's not going to happen, Phil.
I'm not giving up yet at all.
Until I want to win every single game, but I'm a realist.
Well, of course you do. Of course you do. But if we've got 5 games left, I would start saying, right, okay, realistically, let's the playoffs. It's like there's 11 games left. Aye. It's like what? It's nearly a quarter of the season still left. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, you're saying
can waffle on as much as you want. You're not going to change my mind.
Well, I know. Right, okay. Look, back on the chat just very quickly. Dale Boyd, we need to start much faster. Yes, I sort of agree with that. Like second half, we came out, we let them get back into it straight away. We need to wake up. We need to be on the ball. Johnny Cool. Hiya, Johnny Cool. Hopefully Coventry are peaking too early. That could be right. David Walker says 5th and 6th position will change a lot between now and the end of the season. I think you can, Terry, I suppose you'll accept that we have got a playoff place, though.
100%.
100%. Right, okay.
That's why we're going to just work on our form, work on the formation, work on the gameplay, get players fit, and let's get ready for the playoffs.
Right, okay. We're not scoring, and the keeper is a hazard at times. That's Dale Boyd. James Richardson, I'm still confident we'll finish second. I trust the lads. Glad we're not playing Argyle. That's David Boyd again. How's your voice, Terry? It's all right. Good. Have you been losing your voice?
I don't think so.
All right, fair enough.
Possibly. I might not. I don't know. I can't remember.
What would you do with Meander when Enzo is fit again? Martin Smith says. I think we all know the answer to that. Terry, what would you do with Enzo?
Enzo goes in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly what happens.
Meander, for me, he pushes Roberts for his place.
That's why. I mean, when Enzo's fit again, we're still waiting to see that Enzo and Isidore in the middle sort of a combination, really. We're excited to see that. And, of course, when that happens, then Sheffield United will be quaking in their boots because we'll be on their tails then for that second position. Won't we, Terry?
Yes, I have to say one thing, right? Meander deserves to start on Saturday. Simple as.
I think he will.
You score a brace, you earn the right to start next game, in my opinion.
Right, okay.
But then again, Terry, look what he scored the winner against Derby and he was benched for the next 4 games afterwards. So this has to be the change now. It's proven Meander and Isidore, when they're on the pitch together, it creates results. I know.
Do we play them both against Cardiff?
I think you do. You can. I think we'll do that and we'll go 4-4-2. I do. I just hope Reggie's thinking. But is there a chance he'll go to that? He just, for me, he just prefers this 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 instead.
He's not changing the game plan now.
But then again, he tinkered with the starting lineup on Friday, and I think the main reason he did that is because of the points gap. He can afford, at least we're in a position now where we can sort of afford to do the odd bit of tinkering here and there, rather than, right, this has to be, this is the best players we've got available and we have to win the next game. I think in the back of his mind, I think he thinks top 2 is out the question now. On his mind, it's about gaining the momentum and the confidence to go on and run.
With the players, we didn't tinker with the formation.
He did second half I thought he went for, there was a bit for about 10 minutes. He did go 4-4-2.
For about 5 minutes, possibly.
Right, let me quickly jump back in here then, because we've got people back on the chat here saying, Stephen Clarke says, Sheffield United and Burnley have got to play each other. And also in there saying Sheffield United have got a derby as well. They're playing Sheffield Wednesday as well. So there's your two games. That I know Burnley are going to pick some points up there as well. But there's points dropped there as well.
We've got to win our games first, Phil. We've got to win our games. We've lost 2 of the last 3.
Well, naturally, Terry, if we're not going to win our games, it doesn't matter what anybody else does. So, but I'm just assuming we're going.
We struggle to beat Hull. Our home form is where I'm worried about. Our home form, we just seem to be very slow, pedestrian. We didn't seem to really sort of have any sort of oomph. We need to be getting at these teams' throats, getting at them from the off, having a bit of high tempo, high press, really going for it. But we really seem to be standoffish. I don't know what the crack is with that.
Right. Okay. So you're not going to cancel your hotel room and book your holidays. You're definitely not going to do that. All right. James Richardson on the chat says, "What's the Enzo story? Can we sign him? Is he going back to Roma? Is it if we get promoted to the Premiership?
It's about 20 million. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Then we can sign him. Then. Right. Okay. That's
he's out for 6 weeks, though.
Hey.
He'll be out for at least 6 weeks.
He won't be back until after the next international break. But Ballard's injury was, I think we're looking at the end of April at least. Yeah. But then again, I think I don't know if I read something. Jensen Silt's due back quite soon. I don't know.
He's on the bench, wasn't he, on Friday?
Right.
Jensen,
okay.
Yeah, he's back now. But yeah.
Right. Just very quickly before we move along, then. James Richardson says, "Terry, you've got a cobweb behind you on the ceiling. Get your feather duster out, son." Apparently.
That's his pet spider.
Yeah. Right, okay. Let me see if we can get some more likes on this. We've got 62. We've got 108 people on the stream at the moment. Just hit the thumbs up. Do that for us. Let's get us to 100. As we like to do on a Sunday night. And don't forget, of course, if you are watching and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And it's free to do that. Before we move off Friday, then, man of the match for you. Who was your favourite then? Jacob?
Dan Neil, terrific. I know my end 2 well taken goals, but yeah, Dan Neil's performance in the middle of the park, controlling that midfield, stopping Barry Bannon, him and Brown dictating the play. But Neil was just in the moves we had that started up all of our attacks on Friday. Brilliant to watch. He will be a player I think we'll struggle to keep this summer if we're still in that league. I'm sorry.
Right, there's just before I go to you, sorry, stuff coming in again here. John Winning, rumours Serkin was left out due to drink driving. SJ says Serkin was not drink driving, so there you go.
It's rubbish. This infuriates me. Right, what fans in the right frame of mind starting these silly callous rumours, man? I don't understand it. Do they want the players to lose focus for games?
I don't think anybody believes it until it actually comes out in the press anyway.
Well, I must admit, you can't, what players do in their own spare time, and I will say, without saying a lot, the bar I work in over a weekend, the last 2 Sunday nights, we've had quite a few Newcastle United players in. And I'll tell you, lads, when we go off air about what's been going on there.
I hope they're getting pissed every Sunday and lose that fucking cup final.
Andrew F says, correct, we score early on and then defend for 80 minutes. He agrees we should keep pushing and trying to score. Terry, who was your man of the match on Friday?
I thought the best play on the right-hand side by a miles, Trey Hume. I think he's faster. His play is much better. He was much better than Roberts. And he gives that little bit of pace. And the assist from Miendo was absolutely class for that header. And I just have to say, Trey Hume, I'm going to give it to Miendo for the 2 goals because I think that's a brilliant to come on, not starting for a while, get a break. But I think Hume pushed them all away with a good performance. And I think he's unsung hero at times, Trey Hume. Puts a meaty challenge in and he tries his best to get them balls in the box. And, he does really well. He gets 1 or 2 shot-offs, this, that, and the other. And I think his all-round play is just being good.
I must admit, I thought Meander had a great game, took the goals and what have you, but Trey Hume, and I mean, that cross he put in for the second goal
Brilliant.
was just absolutely majestic. It really was. And to be fair, I mean, I'm not going to knock Meander when he's got 2 goals like that, but me and my mate at the match says, you know, it's like a 1 in 10. He'll go through and he can do great, but then there's a lot he doesn't. But he delivered on Friday, did a great job, and would have been worthy of a man of the match. But I thought Trey Hume was well, and like I said, that cross for that second goal was just unbelievable.
I mean, for the amount of games Meander's had in the championship level, let's face it, he's very raw still, and he's got a lot to learn, and I think he's doing well for the experience he's had. Had very little game time and experience, to be honest.
Yeah. Right, okay. Just before we quickly move on, because we've only got about 10 minutes left. The playoff dates have been released. I'll just quickly read these out rather than sort of discuss them. So if you have missed them, first leg of the playoffs, which it looks like we're going to be in, 6th versus 3rd will be Thursday, the 8th of May, 8 o'clock kickoff. 5th versus 4th will be Friday, the 9th of May, with an 8 o'clock kickoff. So that would be, it would be more than likely, if we're going to finish 4th on that, we'll play the Friday on that. And then the second leg, where we would have the home tie, 3rd against 6th, will be Monday, the 12th of May, at an 8 o'clock kickoff. And 4th versus 5th will be Tuesday, the 13th of May, again an 8 o'clock kickoff for that. So,
and we'll be at home on the Tuesday.
If we finish, would be at home on the Tuesday.
If we finish
4th. By the looks of it. So that's if we finish 4th. Playoff final will be Saturday, the 24th of May at Wembley. Of course, it's the bank holiday weekend. So good time out by all. If we do get to Wembley, our lass has said to us that she is definitely not going.
Is that 3 o'clock kickoff, is it?
It's not said yet, but it's not been.
Last year, I think I remember between Leeds and Southampton, I think it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it would be probably 2 or 3 that Saturday.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, our lass said she's not going. So that doesn't mean I won't be going, because I'm the boss in our house. So I'm the boss in our house, and I won't have anybody.
Square fountain.
Sorry, listen. Colin's the boss in our house, and Colin said I'm all right to go. So if we're going, I don't know who I'm going to go with. Like, I mean, I suppose my pals I go to the match with, I might just go with them. I might come with you and Wincy, Terry. I might do that. You never know. Apparently, I'm not going. I'm not going. That's what Karen
I thought
said.
you said you were going. She says didn't she say you were going?
Well, yes, she said I am going.
Did you say she was going to pay for it as well?
She said she was going to pay for it, yes.
I thought so. That's what I heard, yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what she said. She'll be fuming in that room now. So, right, okay. Sunderland versus Cardiff on Saturday. What do we do formation-wise then? I mean, I know we've already sort of mentioned Meander. Would you actually, if he's going to go with one up front, which he has been doing at home, here's a question then, would you put Meander in over Isidore? Terry?
I would, for this game, I would. Yeah.
Really?
I would give him that. I think he deserves the opportunity. You know, if Isidore had a knock in training, which is the reason why he didn't start the other day, then and Meander's come in and played so well, then why not? Or would you go 4-4-2? And, you know, Job hasn't been playing particularly well over the last few games. Would you have Brown in there with Neil on a 4-4-2? Or do you think, would you have Job with Neil on a 4-4-2?
I don't know. I mean, Job and Neil have...
you can't drop them two as a pair.
Yeah, I know. They've been sort of like the stalwarts, haven't they? So
that's the case. Do you keep Chris Rigg and Brown on the bench, and do you go 4-4-2 with Meander and Isidore up top?
to be honest, it's not that bad a problem to have, really, is it? I mean, it's Neil's had his knockers, but I think I don't mean Neil's had his knockers. I mean, but Neil's come decent the last few games. He's not as bad at all. Now, before I go to you,
he's been our best player for me since the turn of the year.
Right, okay. Before I come to you, Jacob, James Richardson says, you've been brilliant, all of you again, lads. See you next Sunday, so he must be off. Have a good week, lads. Love you all, but not in a gay way, he says.
I don't think Joe played particularly well on Friday night.
You don't think?
I don't think he played particularly well. No, I don't think he was like... I think he looks a bit tired as well. I think maybe it's just time. Maybe it's just to freshen a few players up, ready for the playoffs.
I thought when he was called upon, I thought he'd done his job all right. It was a solid performance from Joe, but I have seen better. I will admit.
But if like Philly says, we want more goals, then the only way we're going to do it is by playing another striker and changing the formation, because the formation of what you're playing at the moment doesn't get you them goals, does it?
But I'll bring you in just now, Jacob. I don't think the team as a whole on Friday were spectacular. You know, we did the job and we got the points, but we've played much better this season. Jacob,
it's one for both of you, really, in terms of how we're starting games. I mean, for Cardiff next week, does he? Me personally, I think Reggie will stick with what he knows, but will it be a question of, you know, our unbeaten home record's gone? The teams that we've got to play at the Stadium of Light this season, the majority are very similar to how Hull set up that day last week, where it's a low block and we have to try and play around that with balls coming into the box. Hence why. But then again, do you not think we're better doing that in the second half of games to open teams up more? Or do you think we need to start with that system? Terry will probably want in first on this one.
I just want to say, I don't think we played particularly well against Watford. I thought Watford dominated most of the play after we scored the goal. I think against Hull was the same. We didn't play particularly well. Hull had a lot of the ball. I think the only time we really changed things up when we actually brought on an extra striker or changed the formation later on in the game, when we really had to get a goal. That's the only time where we upped the momentum, we upped the pressure. That's the only time we looked as if we were going to score goals. The majority of the rest of the time, we're too slow and lethargic in this particular position. Now, if Mienda starts with Isidore, maybe Mienda sits back as a number 10 and joins Isidore every now and again like he does, because he can feed Isidore quite well. And they can maybe switch.
Right, okay. So a couple of points here on the chat just come in. Glyn Jones says, we struggle without Job in the team. Like we did when he was suspended for the 3 games, which is a fair point. Johnny Cool says Cardiff will set up like Plymouth and Hull. A plan B is needed. And Terry, you touched on this earlier. You know, does Reggie have a plan B?
Honestly, I just don't think he does at this moment in time. I think he's worried about. For me, if you don't want to play 2 strikers or 2 forward thinking players, and he's worried about his midfield, isn't he? Because he likes to have 3 players in the midfield to make it stronger. Now, is he thinking by reducing that to 2 midfielders? Are 2 midfielders not strong enough to dominate the midfield?
Right, okay. Back on the chat very quickly, SG is saying, so Job's undroppable then. Not really. It's just what they're saying is, when he's not been there, the team has seemed poor. And whether that is Job not being there or they've just been poor. Go on, Terry.
We lost when Job was in there. He played against Hull. We lost our first home game. When he didn't play, we did get that draw against Watford. It wasn't particularly good, but it doesn't all come down to Job, does it? It's a whole team performance. And sometimes you just got to take a player out and try something different.
On the back of his mind also, he'll be thinking that Job is also 1 yellow card away from a 2-game ban. So we've got to think about how we're going to play when Job's not there, because he will pick up that yellow card eventually.
Right, okay. Right, we're almost out of time here, lads. So let me quickly sort of wrap this up. Stephen Clarke does say Reggie will be watching the Burnley game and then decide. That Burnley game is so important for us to know what system to use. give us some predictions then, lads, before we go. Terry, what are you saying for Sunderland Cardiff?
Well, we have to say we're going to win, aren't we? But it'll be another workmanlike performance. If we keep the same formation, the same tactics, I think I'm hoping we'll scrape a 2-1 win.
2-1, you're saying. Jacob, what are you going for?
Listen, after that whole game, nothing's guaranteed in terms of performances. I think it's down to us to show our attacking intent and quality to break these sort of teams down. I don't think it will be plain sailing like it was in that Luton game where we were comfortable. I think we'll get through, but I think it will only be just. But I'm going to say a 2-1 win.
2-1, you're saying as well. Well, you know what? Because we never score, we never win by more than 1 goal anyway. We always give a goal away to start with to make it hard for us. So let's go for a hat trick of 2-1s then. Let's do that, and then if it comes off, we can all wallow in our self-importance.
I did that anyway because I did say 2-1 on Friday as well, Phil.
Did it? Well, to be honest, I only ever look back if I predicted the right score. I only ever look back, and it only ever gets mentioned if I've picked it. So apologies, Terry, and well done for picking 2-1. Just very quickly, Ian Wilkinson says 1-1, SJ 2-1, Stephen Clarke 3-0, Andrew F 1-0. I concede late as per usual 1-1, and Dale Boyd says he'll go 1-0. Right, loads we didn't get into, but we can talk on that next week anyway. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks, fellas. You've been amazing. Don't forget, we are still trying to hit 100 likes if we can. We're on 76 at the moment, so I'm sure we'll get that as soon as we go off air. Please hit that thumbs up and get us to 100. Thanks for tuning in. Watch for more content as it happens through the week. We'll get as much as we can on. And Terry, would you just like to say bye to everybody?
Cheers, everybody. Have a good week. Enjoy your week, and hopefully we'll get a nice win on Saturday.
Fantastic. Jacob down south.
See you later, everyone. Have a solid week, and most importantly, keep the faith.
Keep the faith. And there's the fireworks going on. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, please, to like, share, subscribe, tell your pals, spread the word about SAFC Fan TV. And if you are a member of the channel, don't forget, you can see your name in the credits at the end.
What's Terry doing?
Hang on. We're still live there for some reason. I haven't got a clue.